All right, and here we are back again on the 5-1 left angle cross of the plane. Though the 5-1 on the left angle cross of the plane, you can see right away that these people are not on the cross of Eden anymore, and multiplying is not the theme. You go through the right angle, and the right angle is caught up with it. I've got to make more. But Eden is about two things. It's about the pursuit of knowledge and multiplication. And this leads us to something that is very mystical and very profound. That is the underlying potential awareness that there is the solar plexus that can emerge when this mutation of 2027 comes about. And that the recognition is that when you get to the juxtaposition and finally to the left angle, here you're getting to the other side of the Eden story. On the other side of the Eden story is knowledge, and it will lead to the cross of the plane. It's the cross of the plane that we gain knowledge of the world. It's no longer about a partner and the need to make more. It's one of the confusing things. 59.5 and the 59.5 are still about 59.6 are still about sex, even though it's already in the beginning to move to mutational change. But on the six side, because the six is the source of everything, that is the emotional system that inherent in the six is the whole pursuit of knowledge. So when you get to the 6.5 and you get to arbitration, you begin to see the emergence of love. And love not as a romance, not yet, but love as a direction. Whenever you're dealing with the G center, the Sphinx, we call it direction, but love is also a direction not to be forgotten. It's a way of this identity. Faith derives from analytical diligence and emotional control that permits a higher authority to judge a conflict. Harmony furthered through the avoidance of direct conflict. It's one of the most dynamic themes of knowledge. There's always a higher authority. We know so little. There's so much to learn, and you're going to learn it from the other. Here's the beginning of the appreciation of the potential of the other in your life. That's not about this thing that you have to mate with them and bond with them. It's this possibility that in your relationship something else is conceived. A great thought, whatever. Whatever can be born out of one knowledge gained in the world. And this is the deepest connection that you see between the 6 and the 36. When you look at the relationship in the polarity, the first four lines of the 6 and the first four lines of the 36 all leads down to the dark path of confused emotional relationships. When you're looking at the fives and the six, when you compare the 6 6 and the 36 6, the peacemaker and justice, you get to see this real beauty that there's because it has to do with the pursuit of knowledge and the recognition that you do not learn alone. It's the first essential truth, and in many ways, it can finally lead to a place where you say, I may not like my partner, I may have problems with my partner, but my partner is also my teacher. Oh, how much I have learned from the women in my life. Wow, unbelievable how much I've learned. And this is where you get to the place where you begin to see that it's all right. It doesn't work. Okay, fine. And we don't know how to make it work. Okay, fine. But what I'm interested in is at least let me learn something about you. Let me learn something from you. Let me see you that in the context, and in that way I can respect. I may even be able to find love in that. Remember, I talked about the G and the ego is one of the main themes in bonding, looking for culture, looking for materialism. And here you can see that this is the whole cultural trip. It's about enriching one's life intellectually, about enriching one's life experientially, and it's heresy. It says, yes, I know I'm supposed to be here to be open to sexual reproduction, but actually I'm more interested in finding out about other things. That is heresy, and it's the beginning and the end of this reproductive process. And because we're moving towards a six-line mutation, we're really going to see this transformation, the way in which sexuality is truly going to lose its essential power. Then we go to the 5-2. The 5-2 is so obsessed with avoiding conflict that basically you can consider them stillborn. They don't like conflict. They have a tough time with that. And the real advantage, and I remember saying this is a couple of years ago in doing a profiling course, it's something worth repeating in this context here about the nature of the two fives and the 5-2s. Is that because we live in this internet age, the ability to gain knowledge is transforming in many ways the overall intelligence level of the planet. So much in the past, the 5-2 never really got enough information to find a practical that will actually work for them and give them motivation. And you're out there in the world on the cross of the plane. The cross of the plane is messy. It's really messy. You get to see horrible things. It's part of learning. The fact is that for the 5-2, if you go outside and you see it, it's so difficult for them. But if they watch it on television and they see it on the internet, there is this essential perfect isolation for them and they love it. but that in many ways benefits us. We're going to be able to get much more out of 5-2s than ever before in our history because of these mediums being available, that they can live out of this kind of hermetic life. The 5-1 is the only true exponent on the left angle. It's the only one that sells it, and through the 5-2 would be a natural at doing his job. It rarely goes hour because of the double projection. Never rarely goes out. And it rarely gets the opportunities to gain the depth because it's not the one that studies, but it's there in their environment. And they can always gain access to it as a gifted being that can actually get to an incredible level. And obviously, at that point, you may be able to give it back something else. In other words, the 5-2 blogger that you never see that is pumping out this wonderful stuff, but you can't expect them to find a way to function in a relationship. It's very, very difficult for them on the cross of the plane. The cross of the plane is very difficult. Yeah, it's not an easy cross, the cross of the plane. Good luck with that.